Welcome to The Explainer. What if you could take the most soul-crushing, dreaded part of your company and turn it into the most energetic, profitable, and dare I say, fun place to be? Well, today we're diving into a super simple but powerful philosophy that was born in, of all places, a fish market. And yeah, it promises to do just that.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a question that might hit a little close to home for some of us. Have you ever worked in a place that just sucks the life out of you? You know the kind, where good ideas and enthusiasm just go to die. The book we're breaking down today has a name for that. It calls it a toxic energy dump.
All right, so our story kicks off with a manager named Mary Jane Ramirez. And she's just been handed a pretty much impossible task. Go fix the third floor, which was by far her company's most notorious and dreaded department.
I mean, this place wasn't just underperforming, it was a total black hole for morale. It was the classic toxic energy dump we just talked about. This was a place where creativity, productivity, and frankly, any little bit of joy were just completely gone. So, this slide right here shows the massive shift in thinking Mary Jane needed to pull off. She had to get her team from that gray, lifeless paradigm on the left to the vibrant, world-famous energy on the right. The big question, though, was how? Well, the answer turned up in the most unlikely place you can imagine.
So Mary Jane is trying to clear her head one day, and she stumbles upon Seattle's world-famous Pike Place Fish Market. And what she saw there, it wasn't just people selling fish. It was a performance. It was energetic, it was fun, and it was ridiculously effective. It was a completely different way of looking at what work could be.
This was the big aha moment. This was the core belief she saw in action. I mean, think about it. This simple, powerful idea was the secret sauce that let a bunch of fishmongers turn a cold, wet, and, let's be honest, probably smelly job into a world-famous attraction that also happened to be wildly profitable.
So naturally, she started talking to one of the fishmongers, a guy named Lonnie. And he explained that this incredible atmosphere they had, it wasn't some happy accident. Nope, it was a deliberate choice and was built on 4 super clear principles that really anyone, anywhere, could use.
Now, these aren't just 4 little tips you can pick and choose from. They're all connected. They're the pillars of the entire fish philosophy. So let's break them down, one by one.
Okay, this one is the foundation for everything else. It all comes down to personal responsibility. Look, you might not be able to control the tasks you have to do, but you 100% control the energy and the mindset you bring to those tasks. You can choose to be bitter and checked out, or you can choose to be engaged and supportive. That choice, it's always yours.
Now, play isn't just about goofing off. There's a serious business case for this. At the fish market, having fun directly led to way lower employee turnover and crazy high engagement. It's not about being silly. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe enough to be creative and actually enjoy what they do.
This is all about turning a boring transaction into a memorable interaction. You know, at the market, they'd get a customer to try and catch a flying fish, or they'd let a little kid help out. It's about making people feel like they're part of the show, not just watching from the sidelines.
You know, this might be the simplest principle, but it's also probably the most powerful one. In a world where we're all constantly distracted, giving someone your complete undivided attention is, well, it's a huge deal. It makes people feel seen, it makes them feel valued, and it is absolutely essential for building trust.
So just take a second and think about your own team or your own company. If you could inject just one of these principles into your workplace tomorrow, which one do you think would have the biggest impact? Choose your attitude, play, make their day, or be present. Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you all think. So, how did this amazing idea from a fish market actually work back in the real world? In a stuffy corporate office. Mary Jane knew that just telling her team about it wasn't going to cut it. They had to see it. So after a little field trip to the market, it was time to get to work. First things first, they had to face the cold, hard truth. A customer survey came back and, oof, it was brutal. Their customers called them the sleepwalkers. The situation was so bad that the company was already talking about outsourcing their entire department. The message was crystal clear: change or you're gone.
So the team split up with a group for each principle. The play team came up with really simple, concrete things they could do right away. They realized that fun didn't mean a huge budget. It meant small things like a joke of the month contest or creating a brainstorming area called the sandbox. They were literally changing their physical space to help change their mindset.
Meanwhile, the Make Their Day team focused on stuff that would directly improve things for their customers. They figured out that to make someone's day, you actually have to be available, so they staggered their hours. They knew they had to recognize good service, so they created monthly awards. They were being intentional about finding ways to surprise and delight the people they served.
Okay, so they had all these plans. They were trying all these new things. But did any of it actually work? Was this whole fish market philosophy just a nice, fluffy idea, or did it actually get results back in the real world? Let's take a look at what happened 1 year later.
The results were, to put it mildly, incredible. The third floor went from being the company's biggest embarrassment to its shining star. The transformation was so total, so profound, that the company literally installed a plaque at the main entrance with the 4 fish principles on it, making it a guide for the entire organization.
So what's the real lesson here? What's the big takeaway? This whole story is about way more than just improving morale at work. It's about a fundamental choice that every single one of us has to make about how we approach our lives.
This quote from John Gardner just nails the whole spirit of the fish philosophy. Meaning, purpose, satisfaction, these aren't things that just happen to you. They are things you have to actively build. You create them with your choices, with your attitude, and with your actions every single day.
So the ingredients are right there for you. Choose your attitude, play, make their day, and be present. How you put them to use? Well, that's up to you. So the only real question left is, what choice are you going to make tomorrow?